Hello, my name is Michael Johnson, and this is my interpersonal communication project for class HSCO 508. I'm going to say slide so you guys know to move on to the next slide. For an introduction, I'm going to be going over my overarching goal, what is enlarging the conversation, my background, my behavioral blend, some barriers, noise pollution, and plan of action. Slide. Just to give you a background, I am 31 years old. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, and I moved around a lot to Virginia, San Antonio, Texas, back to Florida, South Carolina, and I currently reside in Missouri. I am married for almost 11 months now, and I currently hold a bachelor's degree and an associate's degree, both in criminal justice and law enforcement. I have worked with youth for over 10 years now, and I still continue to work with youth. And right now, my master's degree is in human services and counseling, and my emphasis is on Christian ministry. Slide. At first, I had to identify an overarching goal for myself. And what I came up with is I would love to be a better communicator with others in a way that is respectable, caring, and honest. I also want to be a better listener. I tend to interrupt people and talk, and next thing you know, I'm the only one talking. And I want to do that in a more supportive, encouraging, and very attentive way of listening. But I want to reflect that in Jesus' love and care. Slide. So what is enlarging the conversation? To me, enlarging the conversation is keep it going. Also you can understand and listen and speak and respond in a way that is larger than your own. According to Stewart, the conversation is the relationship. I personally thought that was pretty awesome. It makes sense. The conversation is the relationship. And how can we improve the conversation and keep it going? Well, just because someone stops talking doesn't mean it ends. Next slide. Behavioral blend is a personality trait assessment that we did in class, and it's in 4 different categories: D, I, S, and C. D is active and task-oriented, I is active and people-oriented, S is passive and people-oriented, and C is passive, task-oriented. And when I took the assessment, what it was expected of me was I and S. And what I am, or what is me, is DIS, which is more people-oriented and outgoing, which I'll show you on the next slide. So here it shows both positive and negative aspects of my behavioral blend. The positive, like I said, is people-oriented. I like to talk. I'm very outgoing. I'm delightful. I'm positive, and I love crowds. Not only do I love crowds, I just love being around people in general. The negative side shows that demanding, convinced, friendly, challenging, cautious, and shy. Now, many of those I don't agree with. Some of them I do. But this shows the kind of negative, what I don't lean towards more. And it was pretty interesting. That's for sure. Slide. And all this relates to my interpersonal communication. And growing up where I grew up and moving around, I learned a lot. And it kind of makes sense through the behavioral blend. And this also under other interpersonal skills tests that we took another assessment. And I scored a 96 out of 100 of being insightful. And I kind of tend to think that's the criminal justice side of me. Because I can adapt to interpret other people's words. And I can see them from their perspective. But I also understand that empathy is very essential in communication. And I thought this was pretty neat because I believe myself I'm pretty insightful. Slide. Some potential barriers that I feel I have and I'd like to overcome and accomplish would be being a biased listener, interrupting, and self-disclosure. According to Burley Allen, a listening barrier exists when someone hears what he wants to hear, not what is said. I like to think of that as selective hearing. For me, though, with biased listening, I shouldn't be prejudging. I shouldn't interrupt anyone, but I should let others speak first and let them finish. And for self-disclosure, I need to be open when I'm communicating, but also let others know that I'm open to them so they can know that they can confide in me. Next slide. And for me, improvements on how to improve these barriers is to have an open mind, understand the importance of listening, wanting to listen, be patient, practice critical thinking, and not be judgmental. I believe everyone has a mixture of these because we can all learn how to be a better communicator. Slide. Noise pollution that could affect our communication. And according to Burley Allen, they are factors that influence us to be distracted from listening effectively. And I like that because it says effectively. And there's two types of noise pollution, and one's internal and one's external. Slide. Now, being effective, how can it affect us as a listener? To me, was pretty important. Both internal and external factors show that, in your internal, mental tangents, snap judgments, negative thoughts, and things like that can really affect how you're listening because you're not paying attention. And the same thing with external noise pollutions, which is your surroundings. It could be television, a child, people around you. It could be traffic. It could be outside noises. And those are all distractions. And we need to be focused solely on that person to let them know that no matter what's going on, that they are important and we care and we want to listen. Slide. For me, solutions to noise pollution would be to focus and fully give them undivided attention. Also, to let the other know that they are important by listening. Well, how can you do that? By showing nonverbals. When someone's talking, you can, really engage just by doing nonverbals. And I believe those are the good solutions to noise pollution. Slide. My plan of action, I want to be more of an empathetic listener because when I tend to talk or listen to people, I'm not judgmental, but I can be very directive and just tell it how it is. And it may show that I don't care, but I do on the inside, but it should reflect the outside. And so I want to focus more and give them my full attention and encourage more by, asking them questions, and being more assertive to what they're saying and interest. So, my next part was find areas of interest in the conversation to keep it going and to show that I do care and I want to listen. Hold my rebuttal. So hold my tongue, bite my tongue, and let them talk. Analyze the nonverbals. Slide. And I believe a very effective way for me, which I have done so already during this semester, and I feel everyone should do it, is Peterson's Talker Listener Card. And I've done it with my wife, and it does work. It's hard to do at first, but it will slow things down. No judgments, and I would like to practice it until I can accomplish it. It becomes almost like second nature. But I've learned a lot through this course and my own interpersonal communication, and with my behavior blend and putting all the pieces together, I can see why I am who I am today. And a summary, just to go over, I went over my overarching goal. I went over enlarging conversation, my background and behavioral blend, some barriers, noise pollution, and my plan of action. And here are my references, which I will add and try to put underneath my link and under my video. And that's all I have for my interpersonal communication project. I appreciate you guys, and I thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.